Doom 2016 was an extraordinary Doom. You would rip and tear and brutalize everything and everyone around you. Doom Eternal was even greater in my opinion. You would literally fly all across the battlefield, jumping from demon to demon to show them your fist, your chainsaw, or whatever was next. And then there's Doom the Dark Ages, which is supposed to be slow, heavy, and brutal as well, in my opinion. But what it really is it's just a shooter with very little executions. Don't get me wrong, I think Doom the Dark Ages is a great game. It's just not Doom 2016 or Doom Eternal. This game is a solid downgrade. It is the worst in the series, but the series is awesome. Let me sum this up for you. The gameplay is less interesting, the animations are repetitive, the music is less powerful, and apart from the gameplay animations themselves being very repetitive, the storyline and the mission design is also really repetitive. Now, every game has its peaks and its lows. In my opinion, for Doom Eternal, its peak was the gameplay and the design, the music, but its lows was the story because, I didn't really follow it, I didn't really care either. The gameplay was just too much of a spotlight. And in Doom the Dark Ages, the peak is the designs. Holy shit, Doomslayer with a cloak, the demons themselves being bigger, more menacing, literal nightmare creatures, even worse than before. The globby little flying demons from Doom Eternal that looked more like the original, almost cute and funny in a way, but now, this time around, they're absolutely terrifying. Same goes for so many other characters, so many other demons, so many other weapons. Weapons are amazing. Look at this Skull Crusher. It is going all over the internet. Everyone loves it, and fair. Absolutely fair. The theme itself, medieval Doom, amazing, great. How did you even come up with that? Well, I would as well because I'm a melee enthusiast. But speaking of melee, the melee isn't even that great. You get a flail, you get some sort of mace, and you get your fists, but you only use them momentarily. You jump towards an enemy, you hit them, and then you back down again. And that's the entire melee mechanic. There's no brutal executions, there's no technique around it. I guess you could call the parrying a technique, but parrying is so simplified that it just doesn't even make the combat slightly more interesting. The melee in this game is just straight up trash. And we didn't really have good melee in the other games before either. We just had glory kills, and those were amazing, and they just make you feel like this powerful all being. But now those are gone as well. So not only do we not have glory kills, they also gave us amazing melee weapons that we can't even use properly. They said that they were afraid that making glory kills would feel repetitive, doing that over and over again, clicking the melee button over and over and over again just for an animation to play that you might have seen a few times. They thought that would be too repetitive, but this kick, this mace or flail is way more repetitive than any of the other things I've named with the glory kills. Glory kills had a few different animations for every single demon. So you wouldn't actually see the same animation 1,000 times over and over again like now. This is a big thing because they definitely do have the budget, and if anything, in this game, glory kills would have fit the best. Having kills like that, having brutal animations would fit so well with a medieval theme. Remember Game of Thrones? Remember the brutalizing scenes in there? Imagine if Doomslayer did something like that times 1,000. Now, I do have to give credit where credit is due. There are still really cool executions and glory kills sometimes. With the dragon, for example. But it barely happens. Apart from that, I really recommend you to watch the Act Man's video on this game, because he also makes amazing points. Anything interesting that the previous games did, they removed. And the only thing that remained is the design. and the world looks amazing, and Doomslayer looks awesome. The weapons are so cool, and so are the demons, but that's it. That's all this game has to offer. And on top of that, it's an $80 game. One of the first $80 games after Nintendo's announcement. This means we're gonna get more. We're gonna get more games of 80 bucks and more, and we're gonna get more games that are not worth 80 bucks. Is the art direction amazing from Doom the Dark Ages? Yes, but it's the only thing going for this game, for this 13-hour campaign, and it's not worth 80 bucks. And I have to keep repeating this because it is just not worth it. Yes, I'm gonna buy a shirt with the saw and the mark of the beast. Yes, I love everything design-wise about this game, but I will never ever recommend this game to anyone. I will recommend the other Doom games, absolutely, but Doom the Dark Ages is such a step down. All it really is a downgrade. That doesn't mean that the game itself is completely awful. Yeah, it still feels fun to play it, but it just gets repetitive. I have to take breaks for days on end just to have a little variety in my life. If I play this game every day, I'm gonna get bored. With Doom Eternal, 2 days, and I was done. I played the entire game. But I really have to savor this game because I can't stand seeing that kick over and over again, seeing that heart animation over and over again. It's getting so boring, and the game is not bad, but it's just not great. Anyway, this is turning into a rant, and I don't want that. I want you to understand that this game is still good, and it's worth trying out if you're a fan of the franchise. As I say, it looks awesome. The fucking designs, the world designs, or just animations in the background of characters fighting are amazing. But the gameplay is a little bit mid. The soundtrack is a little less powerful. They're not using chainsaws this time around, and well, the animations, the glory kills, is the biggest downgrade that they've done. This is the worst game in the franchise, but you know, worst game in peak is still a good game. Anyway, if you think differently, if you feel differently, I mean, I would be surprised, but let me know. If you thought Doom Eternal was crap and this game's actually better, let me know. I'm gonna block you from this channel. Or if you have any other opinions you'd like to share about these games, then let me know in the comments down below. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers, so let's get there. Anyway, thank you for watching.